The ancient device had been discovered in the ruins of the precursor civilization, a scanner so advanced that even the most sophisticated species in the galaxy couldn't fully understand it. Scientists theorized it was a classification system, measuring species against some incomprehensible standard. And it rejected every single one. The crystalline collective submitted their data first. Highly organized, perfect logic, advanced technology spanning 10,000 years. The scanner's response was immediate, insufficient. Predictable. Stagnant. The verdants came next, a species of botanical consciousness that had achieved perfect harmony with their environment. The scanner analyzed them for 12 hours before declaring, inefficient. Complacent. Expired. Even the mechanical collective, beings of pure artificial intelligence with computational power that dwarfed biological minds, received rejection, sterile. Derivative. Empty. Species after species approached the scanner with hope and received only dismissal. The patterns were consistent, nothing was worthy. Nothing measured up to whatever standard the precursors had established. The Galactic Council grew frustrated. They considered destroying the device, but curiosity kept them studying it. Perhaps it was a test. Perhaps there was some species, somewhere, that would finally satisfy the ancient device. Then humanity arrived at the gathering. The humans were the youngest spacefaring species present, having achieved interstellar travel only 500 years ago. They were simultaneously hailed as brilliant and dismissed as reckless. The Council expected the scanner to reject them instantly. Commander Elena Vasquez approached the device with no particular expectations. She had heard the stories, centuries of rejection, species after species failing to meet some impossible standard. She expected disappointment. She placed her hand on the scanner's interface. What happened next silenced the entire chamber. The device began to hum, a frequency that had never been heard before during the testing. Lights cascaded across its surface in patterns that seemed almost alive. The scanner didn't analyze for hours like it had with other species. Instead, it analyzed for 3 days straight. The entire Galactic Council waited in breathless silence. On the 4th day, the scanner's response emerged, not in the clipped, dismissive tones it had used for every other species, but in something almost resembling reverence. Template, life. Species designation, human. Classification, unfinished. Assessment, transcendent. The room erupted in chaos. Scientists immediately demanded access to the results. Politicians argued about what the words meant. Philosophers debated the implications. But Elena stood silently, her hand still on the device, as data streamed across the interface. The scanner was showing her something. Not words, but concepts. Understanding. The ancient device was a measure of potential, not achievement. It measured not what a species had become, but what they could become. Every other species had reached their plateau, they had optimized their existence and found equilibrium. They were stable, predictable, complete. But humans were different. The scanner was analyzing 10,000 generations of human evolution, compressed into a few centuries of spacefaring history. It was calculating the impossible improvements humans had made, the paradigms they had shattered, the limits they had exceeded. More importantly, it was projecting their future potential, and the projection went beyond the scanner's ability to fully compute it. "This doesn't make sense," Elena whispered to the scanner. "We're primitive. We're young. We've made thousands of mistakes." The scanner responded, "Mistakes are growth. Youth is potential. Primitiveness is flexibility. You are unfinished. The precursors sought unfinished species. You are what they sought." Elena pulled her hand away from the device and turned to face the council. Every eye in the chamber was on her. "What did it say?" demanded the crystalline representative. Elena took a deep breath. "It says we're unfinished. It says that's our strength. A verdant philosopher stepped forward. Unfinished is weakness. You should be striving for completion, for perfection. Elena shook her head. No. We should be striving for growth. There's a difference. You've all reached your perfect forms. You've stopped changing. But humans are built to change. We're not designed to reach perfection and stop. We're designed to keep evolving, keep adapting, keep becoming something new. She gestured to the scanner. The precursors weren't looking for the most advanced species. They were looking for the species with the most potential. The species that could go further than anyone else. The species that could surprise them. The mechanical collective's representative processed this. You're claiming humans are more valuable because you haven't reached your final form? I'm claiming humans are more valuable because we don't believe in final forms, Elena replied. We're going to keep changing, keep growing, keep pushing limits until we become something even we can't predict. The scanner hummed once more, its lights pulsing softly, affirmative. Humans are template. Humans are beginning. Others are ending. As the news spread across the galaxy, the implications became clear. The precursors hadn't abandoned the universe randomly. They had left a test to identify which species deserved to inherit what came next. And for the first time in recorded history, one species had finally passed. Humanity had been deemed worthy not because they were perfect, but because they refused to stop being imperfect. And in a universe where everything else had reached completion, that made them the most dangerous, most valuable, most unstoppable force the galaxy had ever encountered. The unfinished species had finally met the measure of the precursors. And the device had recognized them as the heirs to everything that was to come.